Hello, crisis and trauma instructors. I hope that your week is going well. We're creating journal entries this week instead of doing discussion. And I'm looking forward to seeing my students, reflect on their scars and wounds. But I wanted to help you understand next week's role play assignment because it utilizes bongo, which is a little different than we're used to, and because how we as faculty can see what students can see is different. So normally when I as a faculty member want to see what it looks like from the student end, I go up to where like the top right of my screen in my course shell where my name is, and I click on it and I click on view as CAGS student, and that takes me to the student view. But when I do that with bongo and I click on the bongo assignment in session 5, it still just shows me the same screen that I'm about to show you. It doesn't help me understand what the students are seeing on their end. That's because bongo is a platform that is separate and apart from Brightspace, but has been like integrated into it. So let me show you where to find the information and what the students see about next session, the session 5, suicide risk assessment role play. So if you go into content in our course shell, the very first little button on the left-hand screen over here for you is faculty resources. When you click on faculty resources, the very first resource that pops up is the Bongo instructor tutorial. This gives us way more information than the Bongo student tutorial that students see on their end, okay? So it's going to show us a lot of things, but one of the things that it's going to show us, lesson 6 of 8, let me show you, there's a whole bunch of lessons, 5 of 8, how to walk your student through scheduling a meeting for a role play assignment, how to grade in Bongo, like all of this is here for you, setting up the Bongo assignment, which has already been set up for you, types of Bongo assignments, and lesson 1, what is a Bongo video assignment. However, if you go, let's see, Bongo instructor tutorial, down to faculty view of assignment prompt. It's like third from the end. Faculty view of assignment prompt, and you click on that, it shows you how to see what students see when they click on their Bongo assignment. So it says this: to view the assignment prompt, click on the arrow next to overview. So once you're in that actual Bongo assignment, there's a little down arrow, like a little triangle, right in the top right on that blue menu bar, there's a little down arrow. And if you click on it, then what happens is an option with a little wrench icon and the word configure is going to come up. And if you click on that configure option, it's going to show you the assignment prompt that students see when they go into Bongo. It's the only way that we as instructors can see what they see. So when students are asking questions about the suicide risk assessment role play, like how do I find a partner? Or how long am I supposed to be in the client role and the counselor role? What exactly am I supposed to do and how am I supposed to do it? You won't be able to answer these questions in an informed way unless you can see what they see. But actually, all of this is there for them. We just couldn't see it until we knew how to see it. So let me actually do that. Let me go into session 5, go down to the session 5 Bongo role play. And here's that odd screen that pops up. I say odd, it just looks different than everything else we've seen in Brightspace. But see, here's that blue bar. And if I click on that little down arrow next to overview and I click on the configure button with the wrench icon, now I see what they see. And now I can start to see that this assignment is very well structured for them. They are very well scaffolded in how to do this. Okay, so when they're asking questions about, wait, what do I do? How do I find a partner? You can refer them to this now that you know what it says. And they need to be doing their own work. They are sometimes students, when they encounter new technology, their knee jerk is to reach out to the professor first. If we reinforce that by doing for them what they can do for themselves, then they are more likely in future classes with us and with our colleagues to do that again. Rather than being resourceful, doing their own due diligence and reading what they're supposed to read about the assignment, they're just going to reach out to us for answers all the time. And it makes everybody's job a lot harder because we are doing for students what they're capable of doing for themselves. So let's just briefly take a look at what this assignment is all about. In this session, you'll practice the important skill of assessing for suicide risk. They're going to spend approximately 30 minutes in the counsel role and approximately 30 minutes in the client, Sally or Sal role, totaling approximately 1 hour of time devoted to completing this partner role play. So right off the bat, it tells them exactly how much time to spend in each role and what they're going to do. So collaborative mindset, utilize active listening skill set, be collaborative. Okay, so this is their steps. Step 1, read the assigned chapters from the Jobs book. Step 2, view the assigned video with Drs. Elliott and Casillas, modeling how to do this. Step 3, secure your partner. Now, if they're asking, how do we find a partner? How do we find a partner? They haven't read what they're supposed to read right here. Okay, so you can point them to this. You can go in, you can share, be recording your screen and show them that this says in step 3 that they have to do this, and they're going to be finding their partners in the student lounge. They can't use groups because groups are already used up for the group presentation. So they have to go into the student lounge and find their partner. They're going to print out a clean copy of the form. It's listed here. It's also said that it's found in Appendix B of their Jobs textbook, so they can just go into their textbook. They're going to conduct it using the Session 5 role play scenario. Now, this is a case study of Sally or Sal. Sally if the client is female, Sal if the client is male. And it gives a lot of structure to this fictional character that is at moderate risk of suicide. Because in the past, students were, even though they were told not to, they were told to make up a character and not to draw any material from their personal lives or the personal lives of others. They were told not to do this. They still chose to do this, and they were triggering themselves and getting all dysregulated, reaching out to their professors, help, I'm all triggered now because I pulled material from my own life. So instead, I created, ChatGPT helped me and I tweaked it and changed it around. I created a role play for a fictional character, Sally or Sal, and they are to be drawing strictly from this, not from any material from their own lives or the lives of other people, just from the case study. Okay. So when you click on that, it should pull up, and you can read about Sally or Sal and you can show them. And then just a few of the more guidance here. Broach the topic of suicide early in the session within the first 5 minutes of the role play. In other words, we don't need to see you spending 20 minutes of your 30 before, as Sally, the client's, indicates that she may be considering suicide. Like, that's a waste of everybody's time. It's not a full waste because it's good for them to practice their skill set. They're certainly not going to get through the SSF in time if they wait till the end. So broach it early. Don't wait for the client to broach it. You as the counselor must directly inquire about this. Introduce the CAM suicide status form first session document to the client. Collaboratively complete section A with the client while utilizing active listening skills to build rapport, approximately 20 minutes. Collaboratively complete section B with the client, resisting the urge to get bogged down in details, but still using your active listening skill set throughout approximately 10 minutes. So this even further breaks down to 30 minutes in the counselor role, helping them sort of approximate the time they're supposed to be devoting to these things. Only record the portion with you in the counselor role. Your partner will record the video of themselves in the counselor role with you in the client role. Each student is responsible to record and submit their own video. That is because in the past, I have had students doing role plays over Zoom and other things, and they just decided it'd just be easier if they just used one of the students' Zooms for both, and they just continued right through. And then something happened with that student's computer, with that student's Zoom, and the recording was lost, and both students had no video to submit because of it. Not just the student who, for whatever reason, theirs got lost, but it was they lost the other person's as well. So now I want to make clear to students, like, okay, you've got to do your own, and they've got to do their own, so that, you're in charge of what's in your proverbial hula hoop, and they're in charge of what's in theirs. Let's see. Each of you needs to schedule a meeting in Bongo for your part. Start a meeting, record your part in Bongo, and then you'll stop recording the meeting, go to the other person's meeting to record their part. Okay, so that's what they're seeing. Now, are they looking? That's a different story, but you can show them this. Anytime there's a question, or you can send this out as a separate announcement. Hey, looking ahead to session 5, suicide risk assessment role play. Here's what you need to know. Let me show you how to do this. And make sure you mention that they need to find their partners using the student lounge. They can do one thread. They can start one thread and everybody can work from there to figure it out. It may be a little chaotic in the student lounge, but they should hopefully manage that and figure that out. You may get a couple of SOS cries last minute. I tell students when I'm doing this kind of announcement for them, do not wait until the weekend to do this assignment. You don't know if your particular computer is going to have some sort of problem connecting with Bongo or working with this new platform. If you wait until the last minute and then it does not work out, you cannot access CCU help with IT personnel. They don't work on the weekends. So you procrastinated and waited till the last minute. And so now, you've put you and your partner at risk when if you guys had tried it earlier in the week, then you could have known if there was an issue. You could have reached out for support, put in a service ticket, figured it out, and then still had time to record and get it submitted on time. Which is exactly what they would need to do if it was an actual technology issue, because we as professors can't help with those. We don't know how to go into their computer and fix whatever's going on, but IT can legit take over their computer and if they give permission and find the barrier and overcome it for them while they're watching IT do it in real time. It's very fun to do so. So anyways, that's my thoughts on that. I hope that helps you to set up this well for your students, mitigating some of the potential angst and chaos, and then grace for ourselves and for our students, since this is technology they're not used to. Just being supportive, patient with ourselves and with them, and we'll make it through this assignment and come out on the other side. Thanks, y'all.